think it's a day that we take a break from what's on everybody's mind. I am a vinyl collector. And today I want to talk to you about Primus's debut album, Frizzle Fry. Frizzle Fry. What do you make of this relatively obscure title? It's pretty fun. Pretty fun original album artwork here. So this album caught my attention unexpectedly when someone compared some of my own musical work to the band, whom I never heard of, and initially I took it as an insult. But over time, as I started to admire the clash from what the mainstream says is popular and cool, I started to realize that Primus had some really unique creative synergies. So the band was made up of Tim Alexander, Larry Lalonde, and Les Claypool for the most part. That's their best known lineup. Although recently, Tim Alexander, this is what's been in the news lately, he goes by Herb. Herb quit the band unexpectedly, sending an email to Les and Larry, and I think they're still trying to sort through what's going on with that. Switching back to discussing this album, you've got 7 tracks on side A and on side B, so 7 tracks on either side. All songs are listed to be produced by Primus and Matt Winiger, except for Hello Skinny Constantinople, which was produced exclusively by Primus. There's a handful of tracks on here, but the ones that stand out to me most notably are Too Many Puppies, Mr. Know-It-All, John the Fisherman, Pudding Time. There's some interesting sounding songs beyond those, but the ones that really stack up genre-wise, genre is kind of a hard one to pin down with Primus, I think are the ones that I listed. Pudding Time, probably my favorite. To describe an alternative rock band that published an album in 1990, you have to think of a world before Nirvana and before some of these bigger acts influenced by Nirvana had taken the center stage. It's not that they didn't exist, but they didn't have such a mainstream hold on the music community. Something really distinct about this album is the bizarro lyrical structure and vocal delivery style, which is less sing-songy and a lot more just talking in rhythm with the music. See if I can play some samples here. We'll put the album on, give you a gander. Let's fry up some Frizzle, folks. Let's do this. You'll see on the album print that there are... Sorry, had some dust there. The 3 characters we saw on the back. Let's fry up some weird rock and roll. Just a couple of snippets. Let's go to Mr. Know-It-All.
They call me Mr. Know-It-All. I will not compromise. I will not be told what to do. I shall not step aside.
Maybe this now makes a little more sense to you. technical prowess. Alright, we're going to flip over to side B, and I'm going to give you a taste of a couple of other tracks. The toys go winding down. Ready for some pudding? Skip ahead to the bridge. They use toy instruments on this song. Now, I really don't want to get bogged down into the technicalities of the album or the instrumentation. I'm just talking about it from an average listener's perspective that happens to really like weird music. These guys were doing something very unique. It's kind of a mixture of funk and metal and what we now would consider alternative rock. The vocal delivery style, I'm not sure how to describe it, but somehow all of it married together is endearing, and I think that's what's interesting about bands. A lot of the time there's a synergy that they discover amongst themselves, and even when it's a bizarro fusion, it's like a guy that figured out that ham and pineapple on a pizza go together. I mean, you wouldn't have expected it, but once you brought those things together, pretty cool. A little bit more information on the album. It was engineered by Ron Rigler. Second engineer Matt Merman recorded at Different Fur, San Francisco, Christmas 1989. It was remastered by Stephen Marcusson, and I assume that this pressing was 2002 here. But these guys were cranking this out in 1989, released in 1990. Now, when I called this their debut, it's their debut LP. Interestingly, their very first album was a live album. Something else unique. The song Defy, Ground, Frizzle Fry, John the Fisherman, and Harold were written by Todd Huth. So there were a few tracks that had an additional sort of influence musically. When the toys go winding down, there's also Huth's work as a second acoustic guitar. Frizzle Fry. If you're not into the whole vintage vinyl or audio cassette or CD, check it out on the streaming music platform of your choice. See what you think.